Hello everybody, and today we have yet another FNAF book review. Today we have the brand new Five Nights at Freddy's interactive novel called The Week Before. So this actually got leaked earlier this year in January along with the Into the Pit game on like a Scholastic advertisement, which is quite funny. Somehow everything FNAF related just gets leaked. But before we get started, there are actually two more interactive novels coming out later in the future. There is Return to the Pit, which comes out in December, and Escape the Pizzaplex, which comes out in April next year. There's also the VIP interactive novel, which was a free interactive novel for the anniversary, which came out in August, obviously, because 10th anniversary, which was, I haven't read it yet, I've only read like a couple pages, but I might do a review on that if this one does well. But yeah, I've read the entire book, I've gone through all the endings, all the death scenes, every single page, all the options you can go through. This book is like, I think 250 or 240 pages, so it's quite big, but that's because there's a lot of decisions you have to make. So I'll start off with just a general summary of the book, that's probably what you guys are here for, then I'll go into some like interesting details, like there's some big lore reveals in this book. This book is, you probably already know this by now, but this book is based off like FNAF 1. This is a prequel to FNAF 1. This takes place before Mike's shift at FNAF 1. So yeah, the phone guy's name is canonically revealed to be Ralph, also known as the phone guy by co-workers, and Ralph has a young daughter named Capella, which is 11 years old. So yeah, let's get into the general summary. So in this book, you play as Ralph. You're just finishing up your final week at Freddy's, matching the FNAF 1 phone call where he says,
"I'm finishing up my last week now, as a matter of fact."
And Ralph must face off against animatronics while doing his like general night shift tasks, like fixing light bulbs, fixing the breakers, and even Bonnie's head falls off the stage at one point, and he has to repair that as well. So in the later nights of the book, we find out about a young journalist named Browen who breaks into Freddy's to help the missing children and help Ralph, but ends up getting stuffed into the Golden Freddy suit. You find out who she is by finding her telephone on night 5. And night 5 ends with Ralph going home safely to his daughter, which is a good ending. By doing the night 6 overtime, Ralph gets possibly killed by Golden Freddy, who says it's me and says that Capella will be safe. Kind of similar to the FNAF movie where Golden Freddy kind of kidnaps Abby, but instead of this book, Golden Freddy kidnaps Capella. I was a little confused about the ending, it's a little strange. So by finishing the main story of the book, you unlock a New Game Plus mode technically, which grants you Browen's telephone at the very beginning of the book instead of at night 5. Alright, so now likely what you're here for, the interesting details. So this pizzeria is an exact layout of FNAF 1, but now it has like a breaker room, has party rooms, and it has vents. Meaning there's possibly more rooms in the FNAF 1 location that we don't see on the cameras. And there is also windows in this location as well, if anyone cares. But they just are not visible on the cameras, so make of that what you will. There are some references to Foxy possibly biting someone, which could mean that he caused the bite of 87. That could be why he's out of order. Ralph records the exact same phone call as in FNAF 1, like night 1, FNAF 1.
Hello? Hello? I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night.
Ralph hallucinates a dead corpse inside a Freddy suit attacking him on night 2, I think it is. And by using Browen's telephone to dial 1983, you get a phone transcription of the bite of 83, including the dialogue from night 5 in FNAF 4. So Ralph knows of the missing children's incident as he worked there during that time, as he's been the employee of the month like 22 times in a row, which is kind of crazy. And Ralph knows of the names of the missing children because the name Susie pops into his head while running away from Chica. Similar to World War I being called the Great War before World War II happened, the bite of 83 was referred to as the Big Bite before the bite of 87. So those are just all the small details I found out. There's some pretty big reveals there, especially like the bite of 83 one. Here is also some of the artwork that's in the book. I wasn't really expecting any artwork, but there is some. There's some of Chica, there's some of Bonnie, there's one of Bonnie's decapitated head just on the floor. There's some of Freddy and some of Foxy. I think there's one of the cupcake as well, which this artwork is pretty good. I wasn't expecting any, but it's a nice surprise. So here are just some random death scenes that I found funny or I found interesting. Like some of the death scenes in this book are like really brutal. So I think on night 2, while you're fixing a light bulb in the bathroom, Bonnie can just walk in, break your arm, and stuff you into a Freddy suit, which is I don't know what beef Ralph has with Bonnie, but that's a little rude, Bonnie, I'll be honest. Mixing some chemicals and like bleach in the supply closet, and it makes you like pass out, and from the chemical reaction you just die. Switching on all the breakers at once gets you cooked, literally. Running out of the pizzeria and getting caught by Chica, who drags you into the woods. I don't know what she does with you then, but it just happens. You squeeze the handset, as she hands the phone over to someone. "Who is this?" you whisper. The connection crackles. "It's me." Freddy Fazbear laughs and hangs up. Game over. That is just like a peak FNAF like sentence right there, honestly. That was so crazy to read. Like, I was in shock. I was blown away by that single paragraph. Another funny thing is that you can steal Chica's cupcake from the pizzeria and give it to your daughter, where it ends up killing her at the bus stop. And there is a pretty interesting death where you get stuffed into a Freddy suit and you go home to your daughter like nothing happened. Like, you don't even notice until like the very last sentence. So that was about it for Five Nights at Freddy's the week before. This book honestly really impressed me. Like, I'm really happy with how this book turned out. Like, it's so fun to read. It has a lot of replayability, or rereadability, I guess you say, because it's a book. But it's like much better than most FNAF books, honestly. It's really good. I recommend reading it like 100%. It's so good. I'd give the book probably like a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, but I think 9 out of 10 is a good score for this book. I'm really excited to see the other interactive novels that come out in the future. I actually want to read VIP now because this book was just so good. So that's going to be it for Five Nights at Freddy's the week before. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Goodbye!